Paltrocast.
It's nice Kiss t-shirt. Very nice.
Thank you. Well, thank you for acknowledging that's a Kiss.
Yeah.
Was Kiss at all part of your musical upbringing? Because when I think of you, I think of like the trip hop and also the rock element, but not necessarily the bad classic rock element.
Well, yeah, but Kiss were kind of ever present everywhere. They're so unique. They're so what they are, you know.
Did you wind up on festivals with them in the late 90s?
My God, well, the ones I got tickets to go and watch. I don't know if Kiss were there. Possibly. My memory is very bad of these events. You know.
There you go.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
You have new music. You have an EP that's out January 12th. When did you actually finish it?
Possibly, I think it was finished the mastering was finished in September, in fact, because the summer, my time is a bit more free. So I get a lot of stuff done in the summer, finished off, recorded, and finalized. Then it goes to Colin over in the States for massive mixing. So it always comes back better than I expected.
Yeah.
When I send them across.
When you finish something in September and it's coming out in January, do you immediately start working on the next EP?
Yes. Yeah, the next EP, or well, however it ends up. There was originally a next EP, and now it's an album. And I'm stuck between a choice of 2 albums to release next.
Oh.
In fact.
So no writer's block for you in 2023?
No writer's block since I stopped drinking in 2017. After 6 months without any alcohol, everything came back. I've been absolutely prolific since then.
What did you replace the alcohol with? Did you replace it with songwriting,
material,
hiking, or reading, or
getting on with all the songs I've been writing very, very slowly and never finishing. Prior to that, you know, there was a backlog of material that had just been done, half a verse, a chorus on acoustic guitar and put on a dictaphone. And finally, I just got busy.
Got it. So does all that music go to the Noise Who Runs, or is there another band that you might put some of that material out with?
Well, I was in a project all during the Sneaker Pimps time because I was just a lyricist for Sneakers. A band eventually were called Transporter, my cousin and a friend of his. And there's a wealth of material there, and my cousin's always writing new material. And some I think, a new Transporter album, just on the sly. But we also have a side project to the Noise Who Runs called Rogue Noise. It's exactly the same band. It's exactly the same setup. It's just a different avenue for songs that perhaps fit in a different genre.
Wow.
I don't think we don't really fit in much of a genre, I suppose. I don't know.
There's all of those bands and projects, and then there's also Frontline Assembly. So in other words, it can be a little hard to track what you're doing because there's been so many different associated artist names, but you've put out so much music within the last 25 to 30 years.
I guess I don't really think about it. I don't. Yeah, I guess a lot. So, written a lot of lyrics. I deserve a Bond theme tune at some point for this, you know.
Right. So do you have any plans to play live in support of this new material?
We would love to do that. But we both have 9-to-5 jobs. Well, full-time jobs. I have two jobs. And it's really difficult to find the time to do something on a big scale. So we're getting ready now, because we didn't really play live since before the pandemic. So we're rehearsing, but it's whether we go full band with drummer or whether we do it in a kind of a sample loop way, using the technology.
Right.
But it's, it's a difficult choice. But I figure we're in the center of all the main cities, on the train, eco-friendly.
Mm-hmm.
If we can do it as two with the right technology, we could go and visit all the capital cities, put on a show.
Right. When you're performing live, would you do any of the Sneaker Pimps material, or is that just in the past to you?
No. I mean, not for I don't think for the Noisy Runs. Maybe an encore. I don't know which one I would choose either. Yeah. I could play Spin Spin. Oh, no. I can play Spin Spin Sugar on acoustic guitar and Six Underground. Those are the ones, but I don't think I'd choose either of those. Yeah.
But you do have enough material in general to play a 60-minute set between all these bands that you've been part of. And that's without fitting in covers or anything that you're collaborating.
I could play Bruce Springsteen's. Yeah. Yeah, not just with the Noisy Runs. We could do a comfortable 2 hours.
Wow. So
yeah,
it's great that you have this new music coming out, and it's great that you're staying healthy and prolific and all that. Day job, music, that's a full life. But when you don't have to do the music and you don't have to work, where does your time usually go?
It just goes on my family, my girlfriend Emily and my stepdaughter Liz. And that's it. But music is the main thing. After work, that's my only hobby. It's the only thing I do. If I don't do it, and I've tried in the past just to say, okay, do something else. Just stop. But I have to do it.
Got it. That's an interesting situation to be in, where music goes from being your career to your hobby. So in other words, what you were originally doing for fun became your job, and then you had to learn to love it again.
Yeah, absolutely. It's I mean, it was always very nice. It was a great way. We had like 10 years of sneakers living that way. It's fabulous. But personally, I wasted a lot of my own time. Just in the, just on the edge of the lifestyle of it.
Right.
So yes, it is it's kind of difficult because, and then worrying about the response and the sales. But I think the internet and the social media, Spotify, all of that, it's kind of leveled a playing field. You can just do it and you can put it out there.
Yes. You're a great lyricist. You're a great writer in general. Do you think we might ever get a book from you about what really happened in the Sneaker Pimps?
I have the title.
Do you?
Yes. This is an exclusive, in fact. Yes. The Bard's Eye View. In fact, there's a working title. It might change, but no. I'm gonna put all sort of lyrics in there, and I'm going to explain what happened with each song. And yeah.
Oh wow! So,
what questions do people have? What questions do people have? I have no idea.
Well, I think that it was a band that people just knew the music of. They didn't know who the people behind it were. If you talk about Kiss, for example, we know the names of the members of the Kiss members, the makeup, their distinct traits, the bands they produce. But then with the Sneaker Pimps, it's I like that music, and then we didn't really know who the people were.
Yeah. I mean, so I suppose with the first album, then I really don't know. I mean, was Kelly? Kelly was quite recognizable, the female singer. I mean, but it's, I think, pretty much for the majority of people in the world, because of those two songs, and they both came off becoming X, then the person they would associate with Sneaker Pimps is Kelly, and not really the other guys, not to, you know. And then with the Chris-led sneakers, you know, Splinter and Bloodsport, I think they're fabulous albums, you know, they're really good. But we didn't then have the backing of Virgin America.
Right.
That had gone slightly south, as we say. You know, so without that backing, it's more difficult. You know,
but it's good to know that you're planning on writing something about that, and we're going to learn the truth.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm all about the truth.
Sure. Well, yeah. I've two more questions for you, and then I'll let you go. And the first question is, what was the first concert that you went to as a fan?
So the album came out in 1980. The first concert I went to ever as a fan was Depeche Mode, the A Broken Frame tour. So I think it would have been 1983. Yeah.
But it was still the three guys at the keyboards out front?
Yeah, I think Alan Wilder was there at that point for the live show, but it was at that point, it was just without Vince Clarke. Yeah. Oh, yeah, it was wonderful. It was a great, you know, Depeche Mode, fabulous band.
Right. Depeche Mode at their worst is still better than most bands at their best. So
yeah. Well, you know, it's just that kind of era. It was that age. Everything was suddenly the synthesizer. You know, Liam from Sneakers had just bought an SH-101, a Roland. Yeah, we were very heavy into the electronic music as early teenagers. And then the guitar made a revival.
Yeah, exactly. Guitar revolution.
Yeah. I mean, it's fabulous.
So my last question for you before I let you go is, what's the last concert that you went to as a fan?
As a fan, you know, is that going to be before the pandemic now? So the last big concert I went to, funnily enough, was Depeche Mode on the tour before Andy Fletcher died, sadly. But the last concert I actually went to was December 2019, and I went to London to see a French singer called Valérie René. Who actually we wrote one song together.
Oh, and is that on one of her albums?
Yes, it is. Yeah, she's on Spotify and all that. I don't remember the name of the album. I don't actually. Yes, I think the song is called Speed of Blue.
Okay, so I'm going to look for that, and I'll put a link to that in the article. But the bottom line, to recap what I've learned today, Ian, is the EP is coming out in January, but there's possibly an album or another EP coming soon after that. Possibly a book from you. Music is still the passion and the hobby, even if you're not going to a lot of concerts. And we just have to keep checking social media to know what's next.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you know, it's difficult to do all that social media thing.